Hello and namaste to everyone. I hope everyone are doing good and healthy. Welcome to a second episode of Youth Sustainability Dialogue. I am Prakhar Gupta, host for this series. It is once said by Nelson Mandela that youth of today are leaders of tomorrow. Today we are going to host another leader in making. Today we are going to host Panashe, founder of Contentization movement and member of various development forums. Welcome Panashe, how are you?
Hi, Prakhar. Thank you so much for the warm welcome. I hope you're doing well. Hi, everyone.
I'm doing good and are you able to hear me? Is there any sort
Yes,
of echo?
yes.
Great. Thanks. So, Panashe, would you like to introduce yourself to our guest, to
Yes.
everyone
Thank
here?
you. Thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity. So, hi, everyone. My name is Panashe Ndlovu, and I'm from Zimbabwe. I am a young, dynamic, budding social entrepreneur, passionate about supporting people to realize their innate potential. The focus of my mission is on um, equipping people with mental capacities, information, and skills that they need to realize their innate potential. And I'm currently a law student at Universitas Muhammadiyah Surakarta. Yeah, thank you.
Great. And hello.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Panashe, for introducing yourself. And also, can you also tell our viewers about what about your organization? That how you come with the idea of starting your organization and what inspired you to launch the organization you're
Ah,
working on.
yeah, yeah. Thank you so much, Prakhar, for the opportunity and for the question. So when this project started, I did not know that this is where we were going. This is something that was actually starting. This was a project that was actually starting, right? It just happened, just like I write, but so. At one point, I listened to this story of a young girl, um, who was being abused at her home, right? And that is something that really touched me. At that time, I had been recruited into the Junior Parliament of Zimbabwe. I'd been elected into the Junior Parliament of Zimbabwe for my constituency in Zimbabwe. And just listening to that story really touched me, right? And it brought a realization to me that um, we hear about child abuse on the news, we hear about child abuse in so many places, right? And we feel that this is something that is not real. This is something that is abstract. This is something that is just talked about. But just listening to an actual story, just hearing about that actual story and hearing that this is something that was actually happening, right? Really touched me, and it made me realize that in actual fact, this is real. This is happening, and so this is where I learned, that I think engaging with actual communities, engaging with individuals, engaging with people can really teach you a lot. About what's really going on, and this is something that that really touched me. And I was like, we need to do something about it. We need to act on this, right? And at that time, I organized a workshop, HR rights awareness workshop, because I didn't really get to really interact with this with this child, right, with this girl, but I think it made me um realize the bigger problem, right, that was there, right. This was child abuse. So I decided to organize a workshop at my school. Back then I was still in school. Children's rights awareness workshop, and I invited a local non-governmental organization to come and facilitate the workshop and to provide refreshments as well, right, and voice projection equipment, right. on the actual day when we had scheduled to have the show, they failed to show up. We tried to call them, they wouldn't pick up their calls, right? It was a really stressful moment, right? It was a really stressful moment for me and for the team that I was with, right? So we tried, we kept on trying to keep, to contact them, to keep on trying to reach out to them, but they wouldn't be reachable. So I was stressed. I didn't know what to do. In all honesty, I didn't know what was going to happen. So I just decided to walk back into the hall in which the children who had come for the workshop were gathering, where they were seated, right? And as I walked in, I found the children talking amongst themselves, talking about child abuse, talking about children's rights, right? All of those things, and that's something that really stood out to me. That these people actually, these children are actually talking about these issues, and they are well engaged in these issues, right? It's something that excited me, right? I walked up to the podium and I started to have an actual conversation. So we moved from a space where we would, go through, go follow the schedule, follow the program, follow the defined program. That from 8 to 8:30, we're going to be having speakers. From 8:30 to 9 p.m. or to 9:30, we're going to be having, these speakers again. We moved from that space, we moved from that stage to a stage where we were having an actual conversation, talking about the real issue for which we had come for, right? So again, this is another insight, another lesson that I've taken, as a young person, as a young leader, as a young social entrepreneur, that when we go out there, go out to communities, reach out to communities to do community development work to solve the problems that we wish to solve, it is also important for us to move away from assumptions, right? Move away from defined programs, defined that, we should have this, we should, no, right? I think one of the things that I would also like to share with the audience or with other young change makers who are listening is that, as you engage in community development work, you need to engage with the people who you are hoping to help, right? The communities, the actual communities you are hoping to help, and listen to their stories, listen to their problems from their perspective, right? Don't make assumptions about their problems, right? Because they know their problems more than you do, because they are the ones who are experiencing these problems, right? So this was my takeaway. We began to have an actual conversation, guys. What have we come for? This was the big elephant in the room, this was the burning question, right? We have set up, we've made the decorations, we've made all of that, right? But what is it that we've really come for? Because it's not going to help us to come and sit, and to have a program, we have speakers, they speak, child of this, child of this, child raise this, right? And then afterwards, children, we all go back home and that's it. No, we wanted to move from that space to a space where we were affecting real change, right? So from there, so asking ourselves this question, we're like, guys, we've come to talk about child abuse. We've come to talk about how we can be a part of the solution, how we can tackle child abuse, right? So at that moment, that was when the campaign started, and the movement was founded. This is when it started. Was when, but at that time it wasn't the Contentization movement yet. It was just a campaign against children's rights, and the campaign slowly grew traction. We got calls from local radio stations, to speak about children's rights issues. Went to all of those talk shows, all of those interviews, and we kept on telling them the same message. We need to educate children first on their rights, right? And we need to sit down with children, engage, have actual conversations with them, gain their perspectives, right? And come up with blended solutions, come up with practical, realistic solutions, right? So The campaign grew traction. From there, we kept on having members, and it slowly grew. And through my participation in other programs such as the Yale Young African Scholars Program, which I had the opportunity to attend in Kenya. I also learned about, I also met with other young change makers, and that experience also challenged my own perspectives. It pushed me to think beyond, so reflecting on coming back from that, that entire experience, I started to think about other causes, other things that I'd also always wanted to engage myself in, right? To engage in, right? In. So, following that experience, we connected with other, young change makers from my community, and that was when we decided to say, if this is the approach that you're using to address child rights related issues, can we not use the same approach to talk about issues that affect women, issues that affect underserved communities, issues that affect young people, youth, right? So from there, defined our focus into 5 key areas of action: children's welfare, youth development, women empowerment, human development and people empowerment, and environmental and climate action. And to date, we've also come up with another branch within aside from those 5 sectors, which is the Ethical Leaders Development Institute, an institute dedicated to developing ethical leaders, dedicated to changing the world, by building conscious leaders. Yeah, thank you.
Right. That was an excellent conversation. And also, you told about that how it started out of nowhere. Like
Yeah,
you want to make it a formal event, but out of
yeah,
nowhere it came out to be an informal and more productive event
yes, yes,
where
yes.
you came up with realistic, what do you say, observations about
Yeah,
children, that what were their rights, what were they lacking of, what they need the most, and that was really enlightening. And it's also a message for every change makers that we often see UN reforms, that United Nations reforms, as a whole subject, that it's a what do you say, we see these issues from a superficial level always,
yeah,
that okay, there might be any country in which there will be children who will be what do you say, starving, we will just
yeah,
donate, they will have
yeah,
food and everything
yeah,
will be good. Okay, clap clap clap. It's not about
yeah.
that. It's not about that. It's
Yes,
basically about that you go into there, you see the
yeah,
situation, the situation is more related to the society.
yes,
It's not about
yes,
children, it's about unemployment, the social structure in which the people live, the lack of
yes,
resources such as water, and
yes,
what
yes,
do you say, the government policies.
yes, yes,
And
yes,
sometimes government have the, what do you say, willingness to like
yes,
do some work for the people, but they don't know how to do that.
exactly.
So that they're willing to do, like, we will provide employment, we will do this, we will empower youth, but how you will do it? So it is
Yes,
the purpose of the change makers, the people like us, to
yes,
just give them some hints and they will come out with constructive policies for us.
yes,
So
yes,
that is the main objective I feel that we all have. And
yes,
Panashe, my next question was going to be that you tell me about the 5 areas in which you work, but you have
yes,
already answered that.
yes.
So
Thank you.
I will just change that to that. Among that 5, what for you? What is the first thing or the only thing that is the most important
Oh,
that
okay.
should be focused upon?
All right, all right. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. So, let me all right. So thank you so much for your question again. So what with all these 5 sectors of action, with children's welfare, with youth development, with women empowerment, with community development, and with human development and people empowerment, with environmental and climate action, what is it that we're trying to achieve? Why are we doing this, right? What is it that what is our goal? What is our focus really as we are solving this problem, right? So the problem that we're trying to solve is deprivation, right? Which is, lack of basic needs, right? That these groups and communities have, right? And also, we're also trying to address the issue of social justice for children, right? Social justice for women whose rights are being, are being repressed in many ways, right? Environmental justice, right? Climate justice. This is one of the issues that we're also trying to solve, right? And finally, inclusion, right? Inclusion of all these groups, right? Because again, let me come back to my journey as a young change maker, right? So why I started the Contentization movement? Why was it important? Why was this mission to me? Why was this mission important to me, right? As a young person, as an individual, right? I would say maybe, also realizing on a personal level, realizing my own potential, right, is not something that came overnight. It's not something that just happened, but then realizing it, over time, and realizing that, actually, this is something that I'm good at, right? It's, something as small as that, it's something that also pushed me to say, if I can do this, right, why not help other people to realize their potential as well, right? And as we do that, we can come up with a social, a community, right? A community whereby everyone has got the opportunity to come to the table with what they have, to contribute what they have, right? Let me tell you a story. So one day, this is in 2014. One day we go on a field trip. So before that, I was this, what can I say? Kid who sat at the back of the class. I wouldn't contribute, as like the other people. I was always, what can I say? I always felt low about myself. I had low self-esteem.
Introvert.
Yeah, I was an introvert. Thank you.
That's right.
And I always felt better about myself. I couldn't raise my hand in class to give answers like everyone else, right? Even if I knew the answer, and sometimes I wouldn't even know the answer. I always felt inferior. I always felt, isolated. One day, we go on this field trip. We go to this historic area. When we got there, the moment we got there, there were like these traditional dancers, these spirit mediums. Right? The moment we go there, they make this ululation, like ooh, right? And they start to sing, and they start to beat the drums, right? And playing all of these other traditional music instruments, right? It was a nice scene. I felt excited, and I somehow, I just started to dance with them as well, and I started to have fun. But there's just something as I was dancing, and as I was just taking in the whole scene, the whole experience. There's just something that struck me. The ladies were, "Woo," and the guys were singing with their hoarse voices, and they were drums, and I was also dancing with my feet, making different sounds with them, right? And the other guys were joining in with the singing. It was so nice. One thing I observed, we all made different sounds. The ladies with their ululation, the drums with the beats, the different sounds. But all of those sounds combined, the result was music, right? So the way I saw it, we all come from different perspectives. We all have different perspectives. We all come from different backgrounds. We have different ways of seeing things. But if we can come to the table with those differences that we have, those different elements, right? We can come up with one powerful, nice blend. And this is a nice blend of solutions, right? And so this is something that also taught me different things about myself, but also different things about, different insights that I've applied in my work, right? So my interest in the beauty and the truth in all of these, differences that we have is something that also pushed me to come in now to peace work. Now, coming back to the conscientization movement, now, what we are trying to do, we're trying to solve deprivation, trying to solve social justice, trying to solve inclusion, right? Because we believe that everyone has got the potential, right? We remember from from the story that we just had, right?
Right.
Everyone has got the potential. Everyone can make a unique contribution exactly as they are.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Right. So what we are trying to do is to be we believe in positive peace, right? Resilient peace. We believe that, once we have a community that is inclusive, we're not saying that inclusion is an end to itself, right? It's something that,
Mm-hmm.
right? And social justice, that's to say, we will come to a day where we were like, now we have social justice in the world. No, right? It's not an end to itself, but it's something that,
Right.
yeah, gradual, and we're trying to align ourselves with the goal of peace, right?
Mm-hmm.
Once we start moving towards social justice, we start moving towards social inclusion, we resolve issues to do with deprivation, meeting human needs, right? Basic human needs, right? We can realize peace, right? And that peace doesn't peace world peace. So the way we said, the way I see it, right? The way I see it together, with the Contentization movement, peace is not world peace is not something that we're going to say one day we've come as all the nations of the world, and now we have world peace. We have implemented world peace. We can see that, oh, now we have no. That's not peace starts at individual level. If I have peace, I am going to be more peaceful towards my neighbor. My neighbor is going to feel better. My neighbor is going to be more peaceful towards their neighbor as well. And it's something that spreads. But then we cannot talk about peace when we also have other needs, other personal needs, when we are hungry, right? When we have so many other needs. So this is,
Mm.
we want to come up, we want to, find a way to, meet human needs in our work, and to also connect with those who are supposed to be doing the work, engage with them, engage with leaders, right?
Right,
Helping
right,
them
right.
these solutions. So, what does conscientization mean? Conscientization means enlightenment. Conscientization means education. Conscientization means information. And how we're doing it mainly in two ways, right? Information and skills. Information, we're trying to capacitate vulnerable groups, children, youth, and women, with information on their rights and their inherent capabilities, right? When we talk to young people, right? Young people want to be involved in leadership processes. Young people want to start making a difference, right? We tell them that you are young, and that is enough on its own. You don't need,
Mm-hmm.
don't need some what can I say, some big transformation or some big thing to come
Right,
to you and say, hey, you need to start making a difference now. No. As
right.
young as you are, you have the skills, you have the energy, you have the potential. And the way you see, you have low risk perception, and you have that potential, you have that energy that can be used, that is essential for policy making processes. And then we come to women, women, as you are, you have the potential to contribute to these processes, but not just to contribute, but to actually lead the conversation, to actually lead,
Right, right, right.
this developmental process. Because we are saying, if we are to come and then we say, women's uniting spirit is reflected
Mm-hmm.
right from the family unit, right? Women have
Mm-hmm.
the potential to raise a child from their tender age up until the time they grow. They socialize them, they teach them about values, and this is why we have
Mm-hmm.
order in society right now. And we are saying, if those same values, those same skills, those same attributes can be implemented at policy level, at national level, at global level, right? When we
Mm-hmm.
have leadership position, we are going to have a more stable society, a more socially inclusive society, a more just society, right? So this is our belief. And then on the other hand, what we're doing with the conscientization movement, the skills, because once we tell you about we tell you about your rights, we tell you about your capabilities, but we don't want you to live there, because you don't, beyond the rights, beyond the capabilities that you have, that you feel that now I've self-actualized because now I know my capabilities, right? It is not
Mm-hmm.
enough. Also need self-sustenance. You need skills for self-sustenance. You need skills for your own food security, for economic security. So beyond that, we come now with the livelihood, skills for livelihood, right?
Right.
Employability skills, and not only even what can I say, self-employment skills,
Right,
right?
right, right, right.
Technical
So,
skills that you can also use. Yeah, I think those are
right.
employability skills as well.
No, that was good. That was good. So I'm just like summarizing, like taking away some points from your like what do you say, the answer. Okay.
Yeah.
So, so, so basically, what you told in the starting is that first of all, basic needs are the priority or should be the
Yeah.
priority,
Yes.
because a hungry person will not talk about peace, war, about
Exactly.
human rights, about this or that. He wants food. He wants what do you say, water and other resources.
Yes. Yes.
So first is basic needs. So for that, the other connection is that employability should be the what do you say, the center point of the what do you say, policy development, or what do you say, the what do you say, the objective in which we should take action. The second thing
Yes.
should be like employability, because if
Yes.
a person is doing something, he's not only earning his family a living.
Yes.
Apart from that, he's also diverting his mind into some constructive work.
Yes.
So
Yes.
in like what do you say, in war, in the countries where there is a lot of war, crimes and all that, so person if a person is employed, he will be like doing something constructive. So
Yes.
there will be
That's.
like no negativity around that. And apart
Mm-hmm.
from that, you also talk about the word peace,
Mm-hmm.
that after these two needs are satisfied, the peace is the word which is also what do you say, overutilized to some extent
Yes.
in the world,
Yes. That's true.
that we
Yeah.
want peace and everything should be like peaceful and this and that. But I would
Yeah.
like to add one point into that. That is from I once read in Srimad Bhagavad Gita,
Yeah.
that in which Krishna says that if you want peace, you will have to put up to a war.
Mm, 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 mm.
War
Wow.
in this sense, it is about a revolution. For
Mm.
example, if we want peace, the way of peace is always about after the war.
Yes.
We are seeing on the world map that Russia and Ukraine are fighting. So everyone are
Yeah.
talking about peace. If
Yeah.
they are
Yeah.
fighting, there will be peace, right? So,
Yeah.
so basically, what we need is that we need to fight, but not with Panashe, but not with another person. We
Yes.
need to fight with ourselves, our demerits, our negativity, the
Mm-hmm.
negativity that we behold within the society. We need to
Mm-hmm.
fight with it. And
Mm-hmm.
you already told such a wonderful thing about what do you say, inclusion, that how we can
Mm-hmm.
include various people together. That is like even some beats, songs, drums, and
Yeah.
voices can
Yeah.
unite people, can what do you say, synchronize the harmony between them.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So like there are various instruments which we can use and bring the unity in ourselves, and we can start a revolution and a war, but not
Yes.
against society, but for the
Yes.
society.
Yes. 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 That was really
So,
profound.
like learning from you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So, right. So, Parashe, my next question would be like, you already talked about the why you started the organization, what are the objectives of your organization, and what are your views about youth? That, for
Young people.
example, let me just describe my question. For example, if there are like how do you involve people in community development? The people who don't know who they are, the people who don't know what they can do, how you can invoke them, use their energy.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for your question. So with the movement, I think one of the challenges that we're trying to solve, right, is with information, access to information, right. So we try our focus with under our conscientization philosophy, right, is enabling access to information, right. Um, because maybe the reason why they are are unable to participate in these programs, right, to participate in community development, to realize their societal roles, right, as young people, their societal, how they can contribute to the social order in their communities, right, is maybe because we feel that maybe it's because they don't know that they are supposed to be contributing in the first place. They don't know how they can contribute in the first place, and they don't know why they're supposed to be contributing in the first place, right? So what we do is provide access to information, providing access to information in the best way possible, in by all means possible, right? So this can be through webinars, this can be through information sessions. This can be through direct outreaches, because I think one of the things that we're also focusing on in our work is democratizing data, democratizing access to information, right? So our focus is on providing access to information to these young people, right? We feel that I don't understand myself. I don't even understand how I can contribute. I don't understand why I should be contributing, right? And I don't understand what I can contribute. So the first thing that we focus on, provide access to information, right? Access to information on how they can contribute, why they should be contributing, and what they can contribute, right? They can contribute their energy, they can contribute their time, their ideas. But before that can happen, right, we've been talking about peace, and why that peace should start from an individual level, right? So we're trying to move from a point whereby we are an organization that is focused on projects to becoming an actual movement that is life changing for whoever wants to participate, wants to benefit from it. A movement which is not just, again, not an organization whereby we come and meet, but a way of life, right? A way of life whereby we're saying as individuals, we come, we sit together and we say, how can we change with the way we're doing things every day as A, B, C, and D? We start from there. That's a good start. That's how we start making change. We have someone from, members, a member from Zimbabwe, member from India, a member from Vienna. We all come together, maybe we meet, right? And we start talking, how can we start making a difference, in a way that positively influences others, right? But those, who are unable to access our programs, who are unable to access, our work, we work to ensure that, our members, right, are well empowered on what it means to be an ethical leader, right? An ethical leader, a leader who starts to live the change, to be the change, right? And when they go back to their home communities, they go on and preach the same message, right? So this is why, we have also developed an ethical leaders development institute, an institute dedicated to leadership development. So we not only want people to benefit from our work, but we want people to transform lives, to transform individuals. Yeah. Thank you.
Right. And also, hello. Yeah. So that was really nice. And also, what do you want to tell about the leaders? That, for
Mm,
example, what are your tips for leadership? For example, a person want to develop its leadership quality. You have
yeah.
been like leading many volunteers all over your organization, and you are interacting various people. So, what do you see a common thing in all the leaders you have met?
Mm, Thank you. Thank you so much for your question. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So, for other young leaders, I will share my perspectives for young leaders. Maybe, okay, thank you. For young leaders, right? So the first thing that is important for you, as a young leader, this is something that I'm also taking from my journey. That first of all, self-awareness, right? Understanding yourself in the first place, right? To understand exactly who you are, right? And what is it that you stand for. And when you understand who you are, right, what you stand for, you now have a vision. You now have a personal vision, right? A personal vision. You now have, you now start building a brand identity, right? A brand identity for that vision that you have, right? So what is a problem? What is it? What is a problem that you would like to solve? But before we can get to that, you need to, first of all, understand yourself. So you need to ask yourself this question, right? Who am I? I think one of the challenges when when people generally talk about leadership, I think impossible. We think about big terms. We think about community development. We think about global peace. We think about changing the world. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
But leadership starts from within. It doesn't start from outside. It starts from within. So first of all, you need to understand yourself, and not just global change, blah blah blah, all of those things, but understanding yourself as yourself, right? And when you understand yourself, you now understand what is it that you want to stand for, what is it that you want people to also know you for, right? What you want to be known for, what is it that you want to stand for. So again, this is something that can be really helpful. So now, after understanding more about yourself, after asking yourself this question, who am I and what is it that I'd like to do, find your why. And I think this is one of the things that can be really helpful to self to you know to self for self-awareness, for you to understand yourself and to understand really what you'd like to stand for. Find your why. What is your why for doing things? Why do you want to volunteer? But even before to the volunteerism, why do you do the things that you do every day, right? And after you find your why, you now need to understand your why, right? What is my why in the first place? Let me give an example of myself. My why, the feeling that I get, when I've helped someone, right? I've empowered someone in one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
The contentment. I feel content that oh, I've actually helped
Mm-hmm.
someone. And coming back to that story, after the dancing, the dancing that we had at that place, right? I had fun,
Right.
I danced, but after the dancing, I reflected. What is it that I can learn, right, from this experience?
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, as I went back to that moment, I thought about how I felt during the whole thing, and I felt really excited as I was dancing, right? So again, one of the things that is really helpful for self-awareness is attuning to your emotions, right? As things are happening, as you're experiencing things, attune to your emotions. This is how you can also know yourself. This is how you can attain self-awareness. How does something make you feel, right, about yourself, right? So attuning to your emotions is something that even in the corporate world is something that is rising, and people, more and more people are talking about it. That we need to have workplaces that are more flexible and more understanding. So attuning to your emotions, how
Mm-hmm.
so I attuned to my emotion. I attuned to the excitement that I felt. That actually, I've been repressing myself. I've been holding myself back. I am an artsy person. I love all things art. I am artsy, cocky, and bubbly. This is me, right? And that was a turning point for me. I understood myself. I accepted myself, right? And that realization that I've realized so much, and just accepting myself, just accepting that about myself is something that has changed my life, because it made me open, right? Attuning to that emotion, attuning to that excitement, it opened me up. I became a person who is very open-minded, and being
Right.
very open-minded is something that helped me to connect with opportunities. I
Mm.
connected so many opportunities after that. I became a part of the junior parliament. I participated in the Young African Scholars, and from there, things have been changing. I got the opportunity to participate in the UN, high-level political forum, and all of those things. It's something that really, so it opened me up. So my recommendation is attune to your emotions as you're experiencing. And it doesn't have to be a technical thing, a formal thing, right? Even as you're listening to music, how are you feeling? Attune to your emotions. What are the things you can learn about yourself as you attune to those emotions, right? So again, coming back to why it is important, right? I think I've just shared how I understood, how I learned new things about myself, and how those things helped me as a young leader. They connected me to opportunities, because as a young leader, you need opportunities, right? So first of all, understand yourself. I understood myself as
Hmm.
an active person, and I accepted myself, and I love myself, and I love that. Right? So you need to first of all understand yourself, right? Because you can,
Hmm.
there's a world of information right there. So you attune to your emotions, right? When you attune to your emotions, you are going to find, this is how you're going to find your why. Attune to your emotions, you find your why. You find your why for doing things. So this is how I also, I've come to be, I've come to this stage where I'm saying, I want to be a social entrepreneur. I not only want, but I'm becoming a social entrepreneur. I'm not becoming a social entrepreneur by, participating in events only, participating in programs only, but I'm becoming a social entrepreneur by my way of doing things every day. How am I helping other people? How am I helping my friends? All of those things. So leadership, it's something that starts from the inner person, right? This is sustained leadership. This is how you become a lifelong leader, right? And so
And
you find,
and
yeah,
and sorry to like interrupt you in the middle. Also about like you talked about like individual leadership qualities. That first of all you have to inquire who you are,
yes,
and the second is why. That why you want to do these things. What is the purpose? What do you want to achieve? What is the goal that you want to align yourself with a goal? What is that
exactly,
why? Right. So
yes,
apart from that, for example, a person is a leader, a person is
yeah,
managing, what do you say, some of the colleagues, his friends, or some volunteers. So, what are the
yeah,
tips that you want to give to him for better management,
hmm,
better productivity?
yeah.
What do you suggest for that?
Okay. Thank you so much. So I would maybe on I think the what can I say, the fuel, or I think the most important thing about an entity, an organization, or a company, or in a program, whatever it is, right?
Hmm.
The people who you are working with, right? Because if everyone decides to leave, right, it's not going to work. You're not going to do it on your own, no matter how good you are, right?
Right.
you know so the people who you are leading, are very, very important. So I think one of the things that I would recommend you is, first of all, you need to define leadership. What does leadership mean to you? What does
Hmm.
leadership look like for you? And this the impact of this, the impact of this question, the impact of this self-analysis is much more profound. It's more than going to Google and going like, what is leadership, right? And that's okay too, to go on Google. But first of all, you need to define leadership. What does leadership mean for you? How does leadership look like for you, right? So that is very important. That is very big. And you start to tap into that, into your unique leadership style. Because I think one of the challenges for leaders is that we we work with regulations, we work with principles, we work with blah 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 blah. That's great, right? But you need to be a conscious leader. To be an effective leader, you need to
Hmm.
understand leadership style and start to be that leader, right? And then again, coming back to people, right? You need to understand the people who you work with, right? You need to understand them, right? What is important to them? What are their values, right? What are their skills? What are they good at, right? So when they come to work, or they come to the company, or they come to the organization, they shouldn't feel as if they're just workers who are just going to come and go. No, they should feel like they're a part of a family, right? And when they feel that they are welcome, they're a part of the family, they're going to start, going the extra mile, coming with more ideas. How can we change? How can we change? How can we
Hmm.
develop? Right. So that is very big, and that is very, very important, because you want to think about how your organization or how your entity is going to grow, right, beyond you, you know. So the people are very important. You as a leader, you as a leader is very, it's also very important for you as a leader to understand yourself and to really understand what you're trying to do, right? Thank you.
Great, great, great. So, what we can take away from the conversation is that the organization is made up of people, of various people. So, our objective is first to connect with them, with them as a friend, or
Yeah.
understand their individual goals, like what
Yeah.
their individual career goals are. Like if a person is a shy in communication, he is a introvert, he want to break that, what do you say, chain, the mold, the barriers. You are
Yeah.
first of all identifying that. Second is you are helping him as a friend. You
Mhm.
just take a push, you just move forward, you just move forward in a
Yeah.
healthy manner. So in
Mm-hmm.
that way, the person feels that okay, yaar, there is one person who is constantly trying to improve me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the whole environment of the organization in which you're leading, in which you're working, in which you have a certain role, it becomes certain productive, and second, a more, what do you say, positive, and what do you say, community driven, that all are
Yes.
doing to push everyone else. Yeah, not in like a corporate world where everyone are align everyone to like push everyone down. It's not about that,
Yes.
but we are
Yes.
like pushing everyone to like move forward, take steps, do something, do something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There is no issue you are going to fail. So that's, I
Yes.
think, the, what you say, the first basis of leadership and community in which you're working. Like from my experience, it is the first key thing, and the second might be that you will have to show up even if any one of your group members is not interested. Like there
Yes.
has been like many times that you're going to take up the initiative. All of the people might be agreeing it, but they are, what do you say, 50-50, are not confident in it. So don't lose your enthusiasm and motivation. You just
Yeah.
keep on doing that. Keep on doing that. Talk them nicely. Talk with them. What do you say? Positively, and try to involve them, make the process. What do you say? More
Yeah.
healthy and more, what do you say? Fun. More fun. That is the key point. And yeah, the everything will follow. Like the
Mm-hmm.
success of the organization will really follow after that.
Mm. Mm. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing, Prakhar. So I think we'll just look at, I think one of the things that Prakhar was also um, going to mention was like coming back to, sustainable development and bringing it home to what is currently happening, the post you know COVID-19 pandemic world. You are back. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a network issue in my area. And yeah, I was talking about that. And please carry on what you were saying. Please carry on.
No, no, you can carry on.
So, no, I thought for a second that we have a second host for the session. Like that's completely amazing. And thank you, Panashe, for like your beautiful insights. It was a really wonderful, what do you say, talk. And we didn't even, what do you say, talked on the surface level, but we tried to involve our talk on the ground level. That
Mm,
what are the things that might help everyone. So it was
yes.
really good talking with you, and I hope to like have you again in our show.
Thank you. Thank
And
you. Thank you so,
and the
so much.
last and the last
Yeah.
thing that you want to tell to our viewers or everyone who is watching the video.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so, so much, Prakhar. And thank you so, so much to everyone who was able to join and to follow through with this conversation from when it started. I think just in conclusion, in summation, I think one of the three main things that I would like for you to, that I would recommend for you to think about, after this session, and as you continue to engage in your leadership work, and as you continue to make up, you continue to make an impact, right? Is finding your why, right, and understanding this why. After understanding this why, you need to define this why. What is this why, right? And then now that you've defined this why, you understand this why, you start to practice intentionality. You start to be intentional in the work that you do. You start to be purposeful, right? And you really achieve goals, right? You start to achieve the goals that you set out to do, right? When you start to do things intentionally, yeah. And this is not just something that that applies to your leadership work, but it's something that starts at personal level. So before you can make an impact out there, you need to think about yourself. You need to think about your values as a person, right? And you need to think about why it is important for you to make a difference in the way that you'd like to do. And you find your unique approach, right? So you need to define your unique approach as a leader, and you do this by defining your why. And then finally, I'd like to talk about vulnerability. Vulnerability is important. It is important in leadership because this is how you grow. Coming back to the story of how this project started, how the Contentization movement started. If during the session, during that workshop, right, if we had not come to a point where we'd realized that actually maybe these guys are not coming, we keep on trying to call them, but they are not coming, and that's it, right? That was vulnerability, right? So accepting certain things, accepting certain outcomes, certain unfavorable outcomes is something that is helpful, because you always emerge, you think of an alternative, you think of a different approach. How can I approach this situation differently? How can I do better, right? So vulnerability is very important. It's something that is helpful, and it's something that can help you learn many things about yourself. But again, this vulnerability has got to start at a personal level, a level where you understand things about yourself, you understand yourself, and you understand your unique value proposition, your unique approach as a leader. And then you come to your organization. Now you are a group, an entity. And then finally, attune to your emotions in the work that you do, because you have got to be excited about it. You have got to be excited about making an impact. I know we are solving problems, we are solving challenges that are not, that are challenges, because challenges are not exciting, they're not good. But there's got to be an excitement in the work that you do. You need to feel excited about the work that you're doing. This is the only way you can be purposeful and achieve your goals. Thank you.
Yeah, right. That was wonderful. And thank you, Panashe. Thank you again for bringing us a beautiful session. It was really insightful and informative. And we will be like connecting again for like another talks and what do you say, another session. And
Yes.
this time it will be more on like leadership and other things that are like related to the people. We will try to dig a bit deep into that.
Yes.
So
Yes.
thank you for the session, and I hope you have a great journey ahead. And so let's meet you again. And thank you guys for being in the session up till now. And we will meet again we have a session every Wednesday at the same time. Till then, stay safe, take care, and don't forget to share our channel with your friends and family. And meet you soon.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.